Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How is everybody doing this beautiful Monday morning? It is gorgeous this morning. This is my type of time of the year right here, the fall, when you start getting into the holiday rush, the Halloweens. The Thanksgiving's one of my favorite goddamn holidays. Halloween and Thanksgiving, I love both of them. Christmas, you know what I mean? This is the perfect time of season for me. Back in the day, the Octobers and Novembers and Decembers, it was on schedule that they were just dropping game after game after game after game to get you people prepared and ready for the Christmas season. You know what I mean? You all these games would drop and you would come to your mom and you would say, Mom, I want this game for Christmas. I want that game for Christmas. I want this toy for Christmas. The games are to be ready. But now it looks like they have pushed the game releases after Christmas into the Marches, the Januaries, the Februaries, But yes, my favorite time of the season. It's a beautiful, beautiful, brisk Monday morning. And we got some amazing news coming out of Sony right now, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I want to say PlayStation 1 is my favorite console of all time. The PlayStation 1 is literally was what made me a gamer today. I remember the PlayStation 1 like it was yesterday. I've never even let go of the PlayStation 1 because till this day I will bring up a PlayStation 1 game for your booty, Not too long ago, Sony had announced that they were going to do a PlayStation Classic, a PlayStation Mini, kind of in the style of how Nintendo did the Nintendo Minis, Nintendo NES Minis, the Super Nintendo Minis. I thought if there was any other console out there that deserved some type of nostalgia pack, a mini, it would need to be the Sega Genesis. And after that, it would have to be the PlayStation 1. My all-time favorite console of all time. Sony, when they first announced that they were going to do the PlayStation Classic Mini, they showed, 5 or so games. Final Fantasy VII, yes. I can't really remember at the time what they showed, but when they showed Final Fantasy VII, I said, yes, they are going in the right direction when it comes to this PlayStation Mini, because Final Fantasy VII is literally in my top 3 games of all time. Of all time, not just Final Fantasy games, just top 3 games of all time. I remember that time. I remember the commercials for Final Fantasy VII. I remember Sephiroth ripping off the Genova off of the thing. I remember Cloud and his green eyes and the blonde spiky hair. They were showing all the cutscenes off. At that time, it was just like, we've never seen anything like that before. And it just really blew my mother flipping mind. And at that time, I didn't even know what a JRPG was. Not until Final Fantasy VII and Square Enix and Sony went on this campaign to promote one of my favorite video games of all time. I remember when I first saw Final Fantasy VII, and I was just like, when I hear people talk about JRPGs today and the turn-based combat system, I remember I looked at this game and I just said, so you just stand there and let them hit you? I remember I went to my grandmother's basement and my cousin was playing Final Fantasy VII, and he was just like, yo, Zoe, this is the future right here. This is the new wave right here, Zoe. JRPGs. And I was just like, what? But the guy's just standing there with a giant sword and they're just hitting you and you're not doing nothing about it. You know what I mean? But when I was finally to get my grubby little hands on that controller and I was finally be able to play Final Fantasy VII, I was able to see the magic in this game. So yes, PlayStation 1 Classic, Final Fantasy VII definitely belongs on the list. Now, over the weeks and the months, me and my comrades, me and my friends, me and my buddies, we got around and we talked about what 20 games needs to be on this list. They only showed us 5, so we were just thinking, okay, if we came up with a PlayStation Classic list, what would be the 20 games that would make it? Some of us, a lot of us, I would say, excluding me, I was thinking about what games would represent the generation of PlayStation. You know what I mean? What games can you look at and you can say, okay, that represented the generation of PlayStation? But what makes the PlayStation 1 so great to me is that that's probably the only console where I can say that everybody's going to say, I love the PlayStation 1 because of this. Some people will say, I love PlayStation 1 because of the platformers. You know, I love the PlayStation 1 because it was a JRPG smorgasbord. It popped my cherry to JRPGs. I didn't know anything about them. And then when I finally figured out the JRPG genre, I just never let it go. You know what I mean? Some people will say fighting games is what makes the PlayStation 1 for them. Some will say sports games. I mean, like the PlayStation 1 was really just a gaming mecca for everybody who grew up in that generation, you know? So when I sat around with my buddies and we talked about what games would you like to have on their list, a lot of there were a lot of great games were being named, but I just felt like, in my humble opinion, I felt like that game didn't represent the generation of the PlayStation 1. Now, Sony released its list today of 20 games, 20 mother flipping games. I don't really know what the internet synopsis is right now. I posted this to Discord and I tried to get a small synopsis of what was going on just with my Discord. And it seems like a lot of people did not like this list. When I look at the list, I kind of go, you know what I'm saying? When I look at the list, I have a few discrepancies with this list. But there's a big but. For those of us who grew up on the PlayStation 1, for those of us who can remember the PlayStation 1, for those of us that can sit here and say that the PlayStation 1 is their favorite console of all time, Sony got really, 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 really close to representing the generation of PlayStation 1. They got really close. I think they did an amazing job with this list. They really brought the heat when it pertains to the PlayStation 1. Now, if I was to make my list of PlayStation 1 classics, a lot of these wouldn't be here. What wouldn't be here? Intelligent Cube, Jumping Flash, Mr. Driller, Revelations Persona. What? So I think you like JRPGs? I do, but Revelations Persona. Wait a second. I don't even know if Revelations Persona is even a Persona game. Hold on. Let me Google. Let me Google. If it's not the Persona that I think it is. Yeah, okay, it is. All right, it is Persona. It is Persona. I think it's an awesome game to have on the PlayStation 1 Classic. Let me put that out there first. I've never played the game before. It's the first Persona game. By all means, I think it's an awesome, awesome game to play because I'm going to be coming into this Revelations Persona 1 basically as fresh to the game. You know what I mean? Fresh. So all the experience will just be brand new for me. But I felt like that was a weird pick to represent the generation of Sony. I don't even think Revelations Persona even sold that well. You know what I mean? In comparison to the other games that came out on the PlayStation 1. I would take that off. Super Puzzle Fighter 2 definitely would take that off. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, that'll be out of here. But everything else I think is spot on. Final Fantasy 7, Grand Theft Auto 1, the original, Metal Gear Solid. Oh my God. Oh my God. Amazing game. Amazing game. Definitely represent the generation of the PlayStation 1. Kojima really made an amazing game with that game. Ridge Racer 4, of course. Tekken 3, of course. Twisted Metal, of course. Battle Arena Toshinden, I remember that game. Wasn't my type of game, but of course. Cool Borders 2, of course. Of course. Destruction Derby, of course. Yes, 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 yes. Odd World, Abe's Odyssey. Never played the game, represents the generation, hands down. Rayman, wasn't my thing, represented that generation. Resident Evil Director's Cut. Yes, 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 yes. Siphon Filter. Yes, 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 yeah. I mean, Sony really almost made a perfect list. Now, if there was a perfect list out there for a Nintendo Classic Mini, it would definitely be the NES and the Super Nintendo. That's a perfect list. That represents that generation. Not one game on that list where you go, I can't take it all for another one. Only thing I would add to the Super Nintendo Mini was Turtles in Time. It's the only thing I would have added, and probably Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Wild Arms, yes. Sony, man, very close, very good Sony. I have nothing negative to say. Some of the games are a little iffy for me, but yes, if you're going to give me 20 games, you did a great job. You did an excellent job, Sony. But I'll end the video with this, but I'll end the video with this, but games are missing. Games are missing. Games are missing that really represent that PlayStation 1 era. And these aren't even games that I just truly enjoy. This is not games that I truly love. I just think these games need to be on this PlayStation Classics. I would have removed Intelligent Cube. I would have removed Jumping Flash. I would have removed Mr. Driller. I would have removed Super Puzzle Fighter 2. I would have removed Tom Clancy's. And these are the games that would have taken its place. These are the games that really need to go on this PlayStation Classic. These are the games where if you put these games on there, combined with the other 20 games that they put on there, and removing the games that I don't think that represented the generation, this PlayStation Classic Mini definitely would have been selling like hotcakes. It would have been the highest selling consoles of all time. It would have sold as fast and as well as the PlayStation 1 did back in the day. A couple of minor games that I think are very much missing from this collection. Crash Bandicoot 1, Spyro the Dragon 1, Tomb Raider 1, Medieval 1, Parappa the Rapper 1, Legend of Dragoon 1, and Bloody Roar 1. I'll say it again. Crash Bandicoot, Spyro the Dragon, Tomb Raider, Medieval, Parappa. I say boom, boom, boom. You say bam, bam, bam. Come on, let's jam. Check and turn. It's in to the right. Check and turn. It's in to the right. Now turn to the right. Now turn to the uh-oh. That's when you messed up. You go, uh-oh. Kick, punch is all in the mind. If you want to test me, I'll show you fine. I show you the teacher. Diggity clicka. Give it the lesson. You get a lesson from teacher. Now kick. Kick, kick. Oh my God. Parappa the Rapper has to be on. Parappa the Rapper is literally the first rhythm game to come to the States. The first rhythm game to come to the States, from what I know, from what have I seen, has to be on the list. Legend of Dragoon. I think Legend of Dragoon belongs on. I think Legend of Dragoon belongs on this list. I think it belongs on that list. And Bloody Roar, yeah. But all in all, I gotta say, Sony got damn close. Sony got really, really, really close. And I have to applaud Sony for this. Excellent job. Just missing a couple of games. But if you would have had those games, oh my God, this thing would have really just took me back. I would have been stuck in some type of nostalgia, you know what I mean, zone. You know what I mean? I would have I'd have been wigging out. I would have been spazzing out. You know what I mean? Anyway, that's my video for today. Awesome, awesome, awesome job, Sony. Great work. Great work.